Before we begin, I need to say this. This video contains heavy themes: depression, intrusive thoughts, spiritual warfare, self harm ideation, mental instability, and a battle between darkness and faith. If you're not in a place to hear something raw, if you're easily triggered, please protect your peace and come back when you're ready. But if you've ever felt like your mind is a battlefield, stay, because this one is for you. What's going on, family? Welcome back to Overcoming with Ray Latour. If you're new here, I'm not your typical motivational speaker. I'm not polished. I'm not perfect. I'm someone who survived himself. If you believe in real conversations, if you respect honesty over image, if you support truth when it's uncomfortable, hit that subscribe button, please, because we don't fake healing over here. We fight for it. Let me tell you what nobody talks about. Nobody talks about the voice, not the one you hear in your ears, the one you hear in your head at 3:17 a.m., the one that sounds like you but isn't you, the voice that says, "You're tired. Just stop. You're a burden. They'd be better off. You're pretending to be strong. You don't belong here." That voice doesn't yell, it whispers. That's the devil on your shoulder. And some of you just got uncomfortable because you don't like that word. You call it trauma, call it depression, call it intrusive thoughts, call it chemical imbalance. I've experienced all of it. But whatever you call it, it feels evil. It feels like something is trying to convince you to erase yourself. I've had full arguments in my mind, full debates. One side saying, "Indy, you're exhausted. You fought enough." The other saying, "Get up, pray, breathe. You're not done." And sometimes the dark voice makes more sense. That's the scary part of all of this. Because when you're in pain long enough, relief sounds holy. But relief isn't the same as freedom. The devil, he doesn't show up with horns. He shows up sounding logical. You've tried therapy. You've tried medication. You've tried faith. You're still hurting. That voice stacks evidence. And then God whispers, "Stay." Not loud, not dramatic. Just one word: stay. Let's push this envelope. There were days I didn't trust God. There were days I felt like He abandoned me. That there were nights I said, if you're real, why am I still suffering? That's not a church answer. That's a human answer. I've been so low that praying felt like fake. I've opened the Bible and felt nothing. I've read Psalm 34:18, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted," and said, "Then why do I feel alone?" That's the unstable part nobody puts on Instagram. Faith while shaking, faith while doubting, faith while crying on the floor, faith while wanting to disappear. Here's something I've learned the hard way: the darker it gets, the closer you are to breaking through. The voice that says, quit YouTube. Stop telling everybody your story because nobody cares. You're embarrassing yourself. That voice, it gets louder when the impact is near. Because if I shut up, somebody stays silent. If I disappear, someone thinks they're alone. And that's how darkness wins. Not with violence, but with isolation. Here's the part that might scare you. Sometimes I still hear both voices, even now, even after the medication, even after the therapy, even after growing closer to God. The devil, he doesn't retire, but neither does God. That's the war. Excuse me, guys. Not perfection, war. And I'm not to say ashamed, but say it's daily. Some mornings I wake up grateful. Some mornings I wake up that I woke up. I wake up angry that I woke up. Excuse me. That's unstable. That's real. But here's the shift. That changed everything. Just because the devil suggested doesn't mean I have to sign the contract. You've heard the saying, there's a devil and an angel on your shoulders. But here's what nobody explains. They both grow when fed. You feed darkness with isolation, secrets, shame, silence, self hatred. You feed God with honesty, prayer, community, accountability, small acts of courage. And some days, feeding God looks like this, not ending it. That's it. That's the victory, staying alive. That's warfare. Excuse me. The turning point for me, it wasn't a lightning bolt. It wasn't a choir singing. It was exhaustion. I got tired of fighting alone. I got tired of pretending that I wasn't struggling. I got tired of letting the darker voice narrate my life. So I did something radical. I told the truth. I said, I'm not okay. And instead of judgment, I found help. Instead of condemnation, I found understanding. The devil said, they'll see you as weak. God said, they'll see you as human. God was right. Now, let me be clear. If you're fighting thoughts right now, you're not crazy. You're not evil. You're not broken beyond repair. You're in a battle, and battles mean you're still alive. The fact that you're wrestling means something in you wants to live. That's God. That's all that is. Even if you don't believe in Him fully, even if you're mad at Him, even if you doubt Him, that pull towards survival, that's light, man. Every day I choose which shoulder gets louder. Some days I fail. Some days I spiral. Some days I go silent. But I come back because I've seen what happens when you don't. And I refuse to let darkness tell the final chapter of my story. If you feel like you have the devil and God on your shoulders right now, let me tell you something. The presence of darkness does not mean God, the absence of God. Sometimes it means you matter. Sometimes it means your life has weight. Sometimes it means you're dangerous to the wrong kingdom. And if you is and if you've made it this far in the video, you didn't click by accident. You're still here. That's not weakness. That's resistance. And resistance is strength. If this video spoke to you, subscribe to Overcoming with Rachel. Not for the algorithms, not for numbers, but because this is a community for people who are fighting invisible wars. And we don't fight alone anymore over here. I don't know what voice has been talking to you lately, but if the darker one has been loud, borrow mine. You matter. You're not finished. You're not too far gone. The devil may whisper, God may whisper, but you get to decide which whisper becomes your direction. And as long as you're breathing, there is hope. Live, laugh, learn. Stay positive. And more importantly, I believe you're here for a reason. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.